Hey, it's Mike from Darkest Hour. I play guitar.
It's Deal from Darkest Hour. I play bass.
Godless Prophets in the Migrant Flora, Godless Prophets in the Migrant Flora, Godless Prophets in the Migrant Flora. The backers are amazing because when you meet these people, and they come up to you and they're very proud to let you know that they contributed, which is awesome. And the thing is that strikes me is these people pre-ordered a product in 2017 and waited a year, patiently, and they're happy. Normally that would get your Yelp company destroyed. People would be on there complaining that you took the money and ran, but no, they had faith in us as a band and in the process. And so the one thing that I can tell you is, well, not one thing, the main thing is that they're patient and they're loyal and they're very supportive of the band and they're thankful that we've made the album. And really it's cool. I feel like when I'm meeting those people, I'm meeting a special type of fan club member or something, somebody that really did something unique for us. Real quick, Darkest Hour is like a sponge. We soak up a lot of our outside influences, whether it's the record label that we're working with, it's the management company, it's the producer, it's the city we're in. So we've been lucky enough to make albums all over the world with lots of different producers, and they all have different techniques. Brian McTurnan, who was the first producer we used and also the producer we've used on the most albums, he was a very songwriter style person. He was very into understanding where the root notes of the chords went of the song and how the lyrics and the vocals worked on everything. Fredrik Nordstrom, the Swede who did the album Hidden Hands of a Sadist Nation in Gothenburg, he had a totally different approach. He was much more about the guitars and what was happening with the drums and the whole overall production, less about what was happening vocally, and he totally didn't care about the root note changes. Then you had Devin Townsend, who was basically a genius, and his big interjection to the whole thing was the click track. He was like, you guys need to get on time with the drums. And so once he got us on the click track and he got things cleaned it up, got it all tightened up, we were able to kind of hear all the harmonies and the big production on those two albums. Then we went to Peter Witchers from Soilwork, who also took the approach of a guitar player, shredder, and he once again wasn't as concerned with the root note changes and stuff like that. After that, we went to Taylor Larson, who's a younger kid, and he had a whole other approach because it was all about the sonics for him. It was all about layering and making just it very orchestral, and he had a fresh perspective as well. Lastly, you get to Kurt Ballou, and I hope I didn't forget a producer, but I think I got them all. He had a completely different band to deal with because the band is now 21 years old. So his approach was to stay the hell out of the way until he needed to get in the way, and also referee when he needed to referee. But also, more than any other producer, I feel like he was just trying to protect the integrity of the band being able to make their own decisions. And I think that is personified in the idea that he insisted that the album says produced by Kurt Ballou and Darkest Hour. It may even say produced by Darkest Hour and Kurt Ballou. I don't even remember what the order is, but I fought him on it. But it was important to him that it say that, and I think that goes to the core of his philosophy as a producer. And I think that's why the album is so distinctly Darkest Hour. Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. If you wanted to film a fucking video of us just talking shit about what it's like to work with Victory Records, I mean, that would be the easiest video to film. But it wouldn't be worth... I guess it would be worth noting that there were some good things that happened with that relationship. I mean, Victory invested a lot of time and energy in pushing the band. We did some great things. We did Ozfest. We did Sounds of the Underground. We did Warped Tour. We had our biggest selling album to date on that label. You can't argue that it wasn't wasn't great for Darkest Hour in some way. I think that would be short-sighted and not true to the overall story of things. So yeah, absolutely. Being in this band is all about just the bitter taste of something awesome happening. Because every time something good happens, you are met equally with something that's fucked up. And that's just life of a musician, life of a touring person. So our situation with Victory was just a bigger, magnified version of life in a band. Because we've been on 11 record labels, released 9 full-length albums all over the world, and that the only thing that's a constant is that there will be ups and there will be downs, you know?